in town, Grand Rapids.
Yes.
Part of the movie was shot here. It premiered tonight with a big audience from West Michigan. What are you looking forward to?
What am I looking forward to at the big Grand Rapids premiere? It's exciting because the movie, we shot it in Grand Rapids, and so I don't know necessarily if it takes place in Michigan. I believe it does, in the town of Clearville, but we definitely filmed a lot of it in Manistee and in Grand Rapids, and so it's cool to kind of be back and seeing the people, and I'm excited to see how they're going to react when they kind of, as we drove in, I was like, that's the building from the movie. And so I can imagine how it is backwards for them when they're like, that's my dad's office building in the movie. So I'm excited to see that, and I'm excited to see all the fans and everyone come out. And we didn't know when I signed on for this. I thought it was going to go straight to DVD. I had no idea it was going to have a big premiere and all sorts of things. So it's cool.
Is this your first movie then to have a theatrical release?
My first movie to have a theatrical release. It might be. I had a couple lines in a feature that came out in like 2008. But as far as this goes, yeah, I think it might be, which is really interesting because kind of setting up for it, I'm like, it's this little independent film. It's probably going to go to DVD in like 3 bookstores, but I love the script and I have to do it, and I love the director. And as I filmed the movie, I just fell more and more in love with the entire crew and the cast, and I'm so glad that we're able to kind of relive and come back together exactly a year later and kind of watch everything come together.
So in a movie that was all about family, did it kind of feel like a family on set?
It did. It was funny. I was on set for a week. So to kind of be here for a week, just sliding in with these complete strangers and all of a sudden having, a mom and a dad and, a little sister, we all got really close, and we're kind of still like that. We're kind of still, Kevin and I tease each other like our characters do in the movie, and my little sis, we actually don't fight like we do in the movie. She's quite the adorable little sister, and I take care of her, but and Christy obviously is just amazing, and we run into each other in LA and things like that, and so it's cool. It's cool to kind of still have those relationships and things like that, and definitely, John I didn't even have scenes with, but in real life, the more that we talk and hang out, the more I just love him. He's great.
Now, you've done a lot of TV stuff with the Disney Channel.
Yes.
What is it like? What's the difference between doing a TV show and doing a movie?
The difference between doing a TV show and a movie, to me, one of the major ones for me is with a movie, beginning to end, the journey that your character's going through. You know where they're going, where they've come from, kind of everything that you need to know you have in your hands. Whereas TV, you don't know what's going to happen, which I think makes it easier to play, but you also don't know, why you're motivated by certain things. And so, kind of with a movie, it's all very self-contained, and I kind of like that a lot. I would not trade my TV life for anything, but I think it's cool to do a movie every once in a while to just have kind of an ending in sight, which does get a little depressing too, because you're kind of like, for me, I'm one of those people that's like, I'm 2 weeks into it, but like I'm 4 weeks from the end. I only have 4 weeks left, so you're really trying to make it last. But I think with this cast and crew, we knew it was going to be fast, and it's actually been longer than we initially thought, which was great.
You talked about the development of your character because you have the whole thing from beginning to end.
Right.
Talk a little bit about your character in this movie.
My character in this movie, I play Kimberly Walker, and she is Ben's daughter that she could have had, that he could have had in the life that he should have chosen had he followed God's will. And so, I'm kind of this spunky teenage girl. I'm a little more dry and sarcastic and laid back, and in the movie, it's fun. I've always wanted to play a character like that, and I love kind of. The more that you watch it, the more that kind of I picked up on the fact that Kimberly is a lot like her dad. She's kind of a negotiator, and she's kind of a little spunkier, and she's very goal-driven and goal-oriented, and it's cool to see their kind of relationship come in and out and grow. And she's the typical older sister. They fight, but at the end of the day, she takes care of her and she loves her. And especially, I think what I like about the character is as things are falling apart, kind of as her dad is acting strange and her parents' marriage is falling apart, she's taking care of her younger sister, and she's really trying to just be big and be brave for who she is and what she's going through.
What about the character and you? How much of the characters? How much of you is the character?
This character, Yeah, this character was a lot like me, I feel like. Not necessarily in the spunky ways, but definitely the dryness, the mannerisms, the kind of the scoffing. I do that when I'm playing with my brother and when we hang out and stuff. And for that reason, I think when people watch Sweet Life and then come watch this, they're like, who is this? Like, what's happening? Totally, because I'm not this, like, plucky, kind of optimistic, high-energy chick. And I'm a teenage girl, so I have moments of being, like, super high energy and moments of being just chill. But, yeah, this character, our mannerisms are a lot similar, but I feel like Kimberly, while she's kind of immature, in her ways, she definitely has kind of an older soul, and I'm like that too. And she's dramatic. She's a little more dramatic than I am. I'm very I look at situations and realize, like, how small they are in the grand scheme of things, whereas she's a typical teenager being in the middle of something it seems humongous at the time. So
it's kind of a break from your plucky Disney character.
Yeah, it was definitely a good break from my plucky kind of Disney character, and I love Bailey so much, but it's cool, after months of consecutively playing this high energy character and this eternal optimist and very kind of, not as much naive, but she, people definitely do walk on her. To play Kimberly and just literally, the acting was literally breathing the lines, and I feel like it's always a good break to go from one to the other. It doesn't even feel like the same league. So it was definitely really cool, and it was cool to kind of work more with an adult cast and, on kind of an adult crew and things like that, because there's a very young vibe on Sweet Life. Even the adults kind of have a youthful vibe, and so on this it was definitely kind of an older indie type vibe, and it was a lot of fun. It was a cool break.
So as the older sister and also as an older actress, you kind of got to take Taylor under your wing.
Yeah, little Taylor. I think it was the first thing that she had done, and I talked to Dallas. I was probably most excited about having a little sister. I talked to Dallas. I was like, who did you guys end up casting? Was she local hire? They're like, we saw this girl's tape, and, at the end of the day, she just had this spark that we kind of wanted to see. I was like, I can't wait to meet her, and she was a huge fan, which was cool. So we kind of were talking a lot about Sweet Life, and the more I saw her, the more she'd be like, so should I say the line? She's like, what do I? I'm like, okay, don't look at the camera. She's like, I'm about to look at the camera. I'm like, damn it, don't do it. So we have fun little kind of moments of really. She asked for a lot of advice, and I kind of feel honored because I see her going really far. She has that Drew Barrymore syndrome of just adorable, plucky little precocious child, and while still being youthful, which is fun. So I'm excited to see where she goes, and I'm kind of honored that I was on her first movie and got to teach her a lot. Yeah, she's my little Tay.
Now going the other way, you get to work with Kevin and John. They've been around the block, and Christy, they've all been around the block a while. Did you pick their brains about it?
I did. My thing with working with Kevin, Christy, and John, it was definitely exciting, and I don't think I got the cast list maybe a day before. And I always like to be prepared as far as the director of photography and people like that knowing what they worked on. With my parents, and I didn't have very many scenes with John, so with my parents, I really wanted to kind of be very unaware of the things that they have done, not walk in with preconceived notions. So I walked in and I kind of met them and worked with them, and the more that I played off of Kevin and the more that I played off of Christy, people want to make fun of them for being Hercules and Buffy. They want to watch them do cheesy acting, and I'm on Disney Channel, so this is the biggest opportunity for all of us to look ridiculous. And yet we went in there and we delivered these awesome subtle performances, especially on their parts, watching them. And I feel like we really fed off of each other, or maybe I fed off of them. Just kind of the more that Kevin and I kind of had these sweet father-daughter moments, or mean father-daughter moments, kind of as he's being very just aloof and all over the place, kind of my frustration building on that. Keeping it in the subtle realm, definitely I can attribute at least part of it to working with them, and I've asked them questions kind of about how they've gotten where they've gotten and certain ideas and their philosophies on certain things, but ultimately I think my biggest learning experience was just working with them, just being on set with them and learning kind of the way that they react to people, from the way that John, as we're doing press, he has no concept of being able to sign a paper, smile, say thank you, and carry them on their way. Every person, it's like, hey, I like your shirt. How you doing? Awesome. Did you like the... For me, I'm always, how are you today? Did you like the movie? Thank you for liking it. I hope you like this. And they're in the back like, you guys gotta hurry. They're like, we have 2,000 people in line and 20 minutes. They're like, you guys need to, there's no way. And so kind of finding that balance. Kevin does it perfectly. John is so personable. So even just doing press with them, I'm still learning from them, kind of on the other end of things.
Now, for your fans, for The Sweet Life, are you going to continue that, or what's that?
With Sweet Life, let's see. Well, Disney shows typically do 3 seasons. And Saturday, a few days ago, we just wrapped our 3rd season. So I have no idea what's going to happen. Obviously, I've heard rumors about everything and affirmation about nothing. So we have no idea. If anything, it would be a couple months. Hence, I went back to my brunette color. Bailey, my character, when I went on the show, they were like, we want her to be blonde. So I was blonde for that. I was blonde for What If. And I did this movie called 16 Wishes where I was like, I really want to be a redhead. And so I kind of, I put a little red in my hair for that. And on this in-between time, while I'm doing press and things, I went back to my natural. But I'm kind of excited to see what happens and see how things go.
So are you hoping for more movie roles, or are you looking for more TV roles, or whatever is the best way?
I have no idea. They're so different. I'm a very kind of dependable person. I like being dependable. I like, having dependable things. So as far as having a TV show, that's great. And that's what I love about it, is knowing every week, it's there. And however, with movies, there's just so much fun, and there's such an impactful voyage, and just being part of someone's life for just 2 hours and then never touching them again until they see that movie again, I think is a completely different voyage. And so I would love to do both, ideally. I have a couple things that I'm writing and trying to develop, so it really just depends right now. But ultimately, I could see myself doing both, and I would love to do another TV show before the end of my career, which hopefully would be like the day I die. I want to act until, or produce, and so as long as I get to write it, I would love to. As far as the movie goes, I'm just really excited for people to watch it. I'm really excited to kind of hear their thoughts. I'd really like for people to walk in. I'd like for people to walk in with their preconceived notions. Typically you want to say, just don't walk in there with any judgment. I want people to go in there and expect things and be proved wrong, maybe. Be proven wrong.
To walk in with the preconceived notion of it's Hercules, it's Buffy.
It's Hercules, it's Buffy, and it's Bailey. And kind of, right, and it's the faith-based film, it's like an independent movie. I want people to walk in like that, and I kind of want to see how they feel when they come out. Because whether or not they love it, or whether or not they hate it, I definitely kind of just want people to give it a fair shot and be receptive to having their mind changed. But, I'm just really excited to see what people think about it. And it's different than anything I've done, project-wise. The feel of it was completely different. Character. So I'd like to see, how people think that, not even just my parts, but just the entire movie. I think it's amazing. And if I had seen the movie at a friend's house, I would still be telling people about it. So, I hope people like it.
All right, thanks,
Thank you.